Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we are discussing what would visa runs look like in post-COVID-19 Thailand. So after the lockdown gets lifted, we're making this video while the lockdown is still on and while all borders are effectively sealed for all intents and purposes. It may be possible to leave Thailand to go back to your home country, but trying to do a visa run to maybe a third-party country, even your home country, and trying to come back in, that is a different kettle of fish, as they say where I come from. So what am I talking about here? Well, first of all, let me be specific. I'm doing another video specifically on border runs, and I'm going to go into that in a minute. Well, it won't be a minute for the viewer, but I'm making that contemporaneously with this video. But in this video, we're discussing visa runs. And let me first of all be clear about the distinction. I consider there to be a distinction between a visa run and a border run. I consider a visa run to be going to one's home country or a third-party country, so leaving Thailand, going to a home country or third-party country, and obtaining a visa from a Thai embassy or a Thai consulate in that jurisdiction. So for example, if your B visa runs out here in Thailand, you don't prefer to do a business visa extension here in the country. This is during normal, for lack of a better term, normal times, not COVID times as we're dealing with right now. But you're looking to get a business visa abroad, you get on a plane, you go down to KL, Malaysia, and you get yourself a new business visa. That's a visa run. You come back to Thailand, you're stamped back in, and you've got now a new business visa status. That's a visa run. So leaving the country, going to a Thai embassy or a Thai consulate, coming back in, and maintaining lawful status via that methodology. What do I think things are going to look like post-COVID-19? Do I think it's going to be possible? Yes, eventually. But let me read some quotes and kind of provide some analysis before I just thrust the conclusion upon you. In a recent article from the Bangkok Post, that's bangkokpost.com, article is titled, Thailand Logs 28 New Coronavirus Cases, 2 Deaths Monday. Now I want to quote specifically from this article, and I'm quoting directly from Tawi Silp Wisanuyotin, who is a spokesman for the government's Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration. That's the CCSA. So this is from the article, and this is a quotation directly from him. We can't afford to be complacent because Thailand is still surrounded by red zone countries. I thought that was interesting, red zone countries. The situation remains too volatile. The improved figures are the result of our efforts in the past week. Now, they're talking about this in the context of lifting the lockdown. And personally, I'm hoping and thinking that the lockdown can and should be lifted sooner rather than later. That being said, I'm not a medical professional, so I'll try to leave that to them unless it sort of becomes overwhelmingly clear that we need to lift the lockdown. But we're not talking about that in this video. What I thought was interesting was the specific quotation, Thailand is still surrounded by red zone countries. What does that lead me to believe? Well, one, it leads me to believe that we're probably not going to be seeing easy access necessarily from a third-party country back into Thailand in the near future. And that's important because a visa run, in a sense, if anyone's ever seen the film The Prestige, there was a movie some years ago. It had Christian Bale in it. It was about magicians, and they talked about how a magic trick is formulated. And there's sort of a first act, second act, and a third act, and the third act is called The Prestige. In this sense, coming back into Thailand with your new visa is the prestige. It's representing the object that you may disappear, like your lawful visa status disappeared when you left Thailand. You went and got a new visa, and upon re-arrival and readmission, ta-da, you've got a new set of lawful status. That is going to be more, I think from that quote alone, it is logical to infer that Thailand is probably not going to be letting folks come in from neighboring countries in the necessarily near future. And by near, I mean weeks. So I'm not talking about years. I'm not even talking about months. I'm talking about in coming weeks. I don't think it's likely we're going to see a lot of international travel, even here regionally, within ASEAN even. I think it's very likely we're not going to see a lot of international travel. Now, another side of this that you have to keep in mind with respect to a visa run, you've got to get in the country that is hosting that Thai embassy to get your visa applied for. So just to get in the country, if it's a third-party country, i.e. a country that you're not a national of, you do not have a passport for, it is not a foregone conclusion you're going to be admitted. They have their own policies with respect to COVID-19, and notwithstanding the fact Thailand may have raised or lifted their lockdown, those countries may not have raised or lifted their lockdown, or they may not have radically pulled back their restrictions on people coming into that country. In fact, they could be allowing people in under a quarantine measure. You may have to spend 2 weeks in a quarantine somewhere. So the thing to take away from this video is, I do think visa runs will come back, but I think that it's going to take some time. I think we have some weeks ahead before I see visa runs being a viable option. For those who are in multiple entry non-immigrant status here in Thailand and watching their status tick away, it is probably a good idea sooner rather than later to be looking at extending status here in Thailand. And for those who are unaware of how to deal with that, it's probably a good idea to contact a legal professional in order to get some information about how best to maintain or extend one's lawful status here in the Kingdom of Thailand.